Hello everyone, I'm Sebastian Y, and this is Principles of Macro. In this video, I'm going to solve an exercise on equilibrium in the open economy with some comparative statics. We're given a country that is an open economy, meaning it is open to international trade, and we're going to use graphs to analyze what's happening. The first question, we're asked to determine the equilibrium, real interest rate, and national saving. The relevant graph to answer that is the market for loanable funds, which has our saving curve as the supply and investment and net capital outflow as the demand. The equilibrium is going to be where those two curves cross, and so that's going to give us a quantity of loanable funds of 40 and a real interest rate of 4%. Or equilibrium interest rate, 4%, national saving, 40. Next, we need to determine net capital outflow and domestic investment. To answer that, what we're going to do is take our real interest rate that we got over in the loanable funds market, and we're going to take that all the way across to the net capital outflow graph and see where that real interest rate crosses over the net capital outflow curve. And that happens at positive 10. Now that we know that net capital outflow is 10, we can figure out domestic investment. Remember that national saving equals investment plus net capital outflow. We already know that national saving is 40 from the previous question, and since we just figured out that NCO is 10, that tells us that domestic investment must be 30. Next, we need to use the foreign currency exchange market to determine the real exchange rate between our domestic currency drakes and foreign currency. The foreign currency exchange market is the bottom right graph. And the way that we do this is, now that we know that net capital outflow is 10, we're going to draw the net capital outflow curve as a vertical line in this market right here. Remember that the reason why NCO is a vertical line in this graph is that NCO is determined by real interest rate on the graph right above it. It does not have a relationship with real exchange rate. That's going to tell us the equilibrium real exchange rate where our NCO curve crosses our net exports curve. And that's going to be 0.9. We'll write that in right here. Now we need to know if our country has a trade surplus or trade deficit. And how do we know? The way that we do that is by looking at net exports. Remember that by definition, net exports equals net capital outflow, which we know is 10 from an earlier question. Since that is positive, that tells us we have a trade surplus. The next question tells us that we have some capital flight into the country that is going to shift the NCO curve 20 units to the left at every interest rate. Then we're going to go through and see what happens. We're told that NCO is going to shift 20 units to the left, so we'll do that right on our NCO graph. Our intercept down here is not going to be 30 anymore, it's going to be 10, and so on and so forth. So our new curve is going to look something like this. But what we can't forget to do is over here in the loanable funds market, this demand curve right here is I plus NCO, so that's also got to move 20 to the left because NCO is part of that. So 80 is going to become 60, and so on and so forth. Then I'm going to draw our new curve there. Now to figure out our new equilibrium, we've got real interest rate right here at 3%. National saving is 30. Now carrying that 3% all the way over back to our NCO graph, what we see is that now NCO is -5, and so is net exports, since those have to be equal. We're then going to draw our new NCO curve on our foreign currency exchange market, again as a vertical line, and that's going to give us our new real exchange rate of 1.2. And that's going to give us all the rest of our answers. Real interest rate is 3%, national saving is 30, net capital outflow -5, and real exchange rate of 1.2. This is all about remembering how these three graphs fit together and interact with each other. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Thanks for watching.